Hello, this is Debbie McAllister, and this is Light Up Your Words. I am excited to bring you Renee Reich. For over a decade, Renee has been cultivating and inspiring individuals and teams with her contagious energy. Having spent more than 25 years in corporate America, she decided it was time to step away from the corporate ladder and instead dedicate herself to helping others. She started her professional training and speaking as an instructor at Women Helping Women, where she volunteered her time to help the unemployed and underemployed find jobs. Renee has received numerous awards for leading her teams to the #1 position. Her years of experience in the corporate world have taught her the importance of investing in people to move the bar and increase profit. Renee's life has not been without challenges. After experiencing a devastating illness that took away her voice and then the loss of her best friend and father, Renee chose to follow their example and never give up. Today, she helps others, showing them there's always a way out. As a 4-time #1 best-selling author, founder of Finding Your Voice Network, and a women's executive and leadership coach, Renee is passionate about helping leaders harness their unique inner wisdom and find their authentic voice. Her coaching programs help individuals unlock their potential and become confident leaders. She holds workshops and speaks on topics such as leadership, emotional intelligence, and confidence, all of which lead to personal growth. Renee is committed to creating an environment of respect and inclusion, which allows her clients to reach their highest potential professionally and personally. Welcome, Renee.
Thank you so much, Debbie. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today.
I think I discovered you because of your book, Finding Your Voice, Unlocking Your Chains, and Unleash Your Greatness. How did your book come about?
Thank you for your kind words. It was based on my experience in life and losing my voice. I lost my voice in a corporate position in 2013. I got very sick during Christmas, ended up in the ER twice, out of work for almost 4 months. A viral infection attacked my vocal cords, and the doctor had told me that I was so contagious I was no longer allowed to be with the public. So to take someone who is like so vivacious, loves being with people, very upbeat, I went the other direction. I went into that dark rabbit hole, and it was a fast spiral down. And it wasn't until 5 years, I would say, after that took place, that the book coming to my mind to write a book. The friend of our family, now one of my angels, said, "You should write a book about everything that had taken place in my life." I'm like, "Who am I to write a book?" I even wrote that in the book. Who am I to write a book? Like, who cares about what I've done? And then I thought, you know what? It's about being a vessel for others who need to hear the story because it's relatable to their life. Not that others had to lose their voice physically like I did, but where do they feel silenced? Where do they feel they haven't had a voice? Where we're a people pleaser, so much so that they didn't even for me, I never made it to my own to-do list. It was so consumed and so concerned with other people that I was so much immersed in that I never really looked out for that gal looking back at me in the mirror. And this book was really finding my own voice and being able to serve others and finding theirs of where in their life that can serve them.
Mm. I know all the listeners now are, especially if you're a female, is we're collectively, we were raised to be seen, not heard, be nice. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. Be a good girl. Good girls don't talk about that stuff. That's our voice. Just stuffing ourselves down to have it physically even happen, where even if you wanted to express yourself. So I I could see that journey, finding the voice and how you're able to help people know that they're worthy to to share their voice.
Absolutely, Debbie. And I think a lot of it is the work. I was looking for outside validation for inner self-worth, always looking for that shiny object, that award, to feel worthy, to feel good, because I never felt like I was. And whether it was personal or professional, I just felt like I always had to do more to be accepted. That's being me is good enough. I know that now, but that wasn't how I felt. And to always feel like you're running this race, but the race is really against yourself, trying to keep up with other people's real life, the REAL that you see on social media versus the REAL, what's going on behind the smiles, behind the scenes, behind the eyes. Know that you are enough as you are, no matter where you are in life. This is part of the journey, but part of your journey. So many times people are like, well, how could this pain be part of my journey? I pray that one day you'll be able to see that and that you'll be able to survive through resiliency and through reaching out. Hopefully that people reach out if they feel like they need to, whether it's to me or somebody that they feel they can reach out to. I would love to connect with your listeners because I know that there's so many people I can continue to help. If you've landed on this podcast at this time, there's a reason. I believe things are meant to be in the time that they are meant to happen. We don't always believe that in the moment. Like, why is this happening now? Why am I thought I was being punished for something. I didn't know what I had done to be going through such tremendous pain. I couldn't speak. I was, like I said, locked away, not allowed in public. I couldn't see my parents, my best friend. God bless her. She's watching over me now from heaven. My dad, she used to come to my place with a mask on pre-COVID. It was 2013 and deliver food to me because she knew I couldn't take care of myself. I couldn't even swallow. So it was very painful. The book is similar to a Chicken Soup for the Soul book because each chapter, they're very brief chapters, is something that happened along my journey of finding my voice. It's not a sad book, Debbie. You read it.
Mhm.
You'll laugh. You go, oh my God, that's so funny. I can't believe she shared that with us. That's pretty funny. And then other parts, you'll probably feel like, oh my gosh, that's pretty sad that this gal felt that way about herself. In each way, they're, I believe, relatable. And then I pose questions after each chapter. And I leave 3 to 4 line pages for the reader to write their answers of how it pertained to them in their own life. So this way you can date it, answer the question, then go back and read it again and go, oh wow, that I answered that question when I was first doing this, that, or the other thing. It makes a difference. You can see your journey. It's a great way to track it and see how far you've come. We don't often give ourselves enough credit. And I am right there with you. You're just looking to see what you didn't do or you haven't done, not how far you've truly come in your own life.
Mhm. I love that it's set up to be able to do that reflection, to come back, because like you said, this is a journey. When you're first stepping into voicing, sometimes we don't even know what our voice is.
Exactly. We're speaking what we think others want or how we're supposed to show up. But what about what we really want? Or if we want to say the word no, that no is a complete sentence and it's okay to say no. It's part of setting healthy boundaries. If you say yes to everybody, then you're upset at the end of the day. And why are you upset? You didn't do this, you didn't do that. You didn't get your stuff done because you did things for everybody else. And maybe they're happy, but are you happy? Are you where you want to be? Or did you do everything for everybody but you? Then you're going to lash out at somebody for something they may say. You're going to get triggered because of something that happened hours, days, or weeks before, something you never addressed. We end up suppressing and repressing our emotions when we don't deal with them. Triggers. We snap and you don't understand why something minor became major. But when you step back and think, what was the reason? Why is that person agitating me so much? Or why what they said got under my skin? Why did I allow it to get under my skin so much? You really just sit with yourself in silence, think about it, or go for a walk. You'll find the answers because there's a reason you get triggered. It's to bring your attention to take care of yourself in some way, shape, or form.
It's amazing how much there's so much science out there about our body remembers. I think that's the name of one of the books that I
It is
referenced. Our body
body
keeps
story, yes.
score. It shows up, and that repression is going to come out at one way or another, whether we voice it or it's going to come out in an illness in our body, like you experienced. It's triggered. It stays there waiting until it decides it's had enough, we're going to speak out. When you first started to find back your physical voice and step into going through the journey of writing the book itself, that's a really challenging period of time. I think we're extremely vulnerable because we're not quite who we're becoming and not everybody is on board. What do you mean, Renee? You don't like this? You've said you like this for 30 years. How did you navigate that time becoming that butterfly?
Quite often that the physical loss of my voice came because of the metaphoric loss of my voice in life, for not speaking up, for being a people pleaser, for those looking for validation, inner self-worth. I relate my journey. It's like the butterfly effect. We come into this life crawling like that caterpillar. It goes into this metamorphosis. It's an ooey gooey mucky stage. It's called a chrysalis stage. Each butterfly's chrysalis stage is different. It doesn't last the same amount of time. Neither does ours in life. And it is ooey and it is gooey, mucky and uncomfortable. I call it the uncomfortable comfort zone because we stay there sometimes longer than we want to be. And it's uncomfortable, but we know what's there versus stepping out and spreading our wings. But eventually that chrysalis sheds its layers and it comes to this beautiful butterfly. I love the monarch butterfly that spreads its wings and flies. We each are that in some way, shape, or form. We're all a little different, but similar because our stages are the same. We come into life falling, get up, fall down, get up. Eventually we stand up on our own. Not always easy, but we manage. You mentioned writing the book. That was after I was out of corporate America. I was not an author while in corporate. I wasn't even the same person I am today, nor that I was a week or a month ago, always evolving. And I didn't even have writing a book on a bucket list because there wasn't a bucket list when I was in corporate America. It was just taking care of everybody while I was there. 25 years of doing that until I was released from that position and didn't know what the heck I was going to do because it defined who I was. And let my position in a job define my position of who I was. That was a hard pill to swallow. It took me a long time to understand that's not who I was. It's what I did. It's a role that I had for many years, but I was so immersed, I lost sight of who I am. And the coaching I do today is based on vulnerability to empowerment. It's a journey of finding your voice. Most of my clients, I will say, are women, professional women, and they feel they in some way, shape, or form their voice has been suppressed. They're not speaking up. They may have this title in their work and their job, but yet they're hiding behind, their own mask. Long before masks were in fashion with COVID, it's just a mask we put on. We don't want to really show people this side, and that's not something to be afraid of. It's something to step into, and that's why I do the coaching I do because I know what that feels like. I was putting on this big smile, all this stuff. I was doing this, doing that, taking care of everybody and everything. And on the outside, it looked like I was just doing so well. But inside, I was dying until I had no voice. I would wake up in the middle of the night crying. I never heard my own tears of pain from the sores around my vocal cords. I had no voice to express them. I was isolated because I was so contagious. I couldn't be with the public. I was staring at four walls for almost 4 months. Doctors had no answer, no cure. It was a very painful time, as I said, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Physically, obviously, because of the sores of my vocal cords, that was the main physical pain. The emotional pain was because I couldn't be with my loved ones. The mental pain is when you go to Western medicine and they take up to 20 bottles of blood in 3.5 months trying to figure out what's wrong with her. It wasn't that something was so wrong. I did have a virus, I did have an infection, but it was to step out of life and not have a voice for a while, to understand that kind of pain so I could step back in and serve with more courage, confidence, and clarity on who I'm meant to serve with a stronger voice, with an even more compassionate heart. I've always been an empath, but this is different. You know people's pain on another level because you've gone through, I have a degree in psychology. And as grateful as I am for that, that was part of my journey. It is the experience in life that's given me the biggest lesson of all. to be able to serve in the greatest way.
Your journey of your experience of losing, physically losing, and then your voice really does go back to that butterfly, the metaphorsis that happens. You completely dissolve.
Oh,
The caterpillar completely dissolves. One of the things I find so fascinating about the butterfly and how we compare it to our own journeys is that goo, they completely dissolve. But the goo has the wings imprint. It was already there in the caterpillar. So the rest of it has to dissolve so that the wings can then come out.
that's beautiful. I'm going to date myself here. But if you're familiar with The Wizard of Oz, remember that movie? Okay.
Mhm.
Dorothy and the dog Toto, who was her companion there. There was the scarecrow looking for the brain. There was a tin man looking for the heart. There was the cowardly lion looking for courage. Think about that movie just for a minute. Each character was looking to go with Dorothy. They were going to the land of Oz to get each of the things that they were looking for. Dorothy looking for the way back home. As I said, the courage for the cowardly lion, the tin man looking for the heart, and the scarecrow looking for the brain, and had within them exactly what they were looking for outside. They thought they had to go to this land of Oz and they would get what they wanted. That movie depicts them having those traits. My point is that we each have, like you said, in that stage, what we're looking for outside. It's part of our DNA. We already have what we are looking for, but we don't think we're enough. We don't think we can do it. We're like, oh, I'll get it there. I'll do this or that. Or one more course, one more this, one more that. If we just stay in the moment and see what we already have, you have what you want. And the people in your life who can help you get there. If you don't possess that, great. Instead of looking outside, look within. That's what that movie talks about. Look at the characters. Every single one of them had it.
What's powerful about that movie, and it's well known, is it was ahead of its time. It shows that it's already there. When we work with a coach, it's why I'm a big advocate of having coaches. I have a coach. I coach others. We all need support, no matter where we are in our journey. The spectrum never ends. We just move farther along. And that you're just maybe ahead of somebody who's trying to find that voice and reflect back there that it's already there, the confidence.
That's what it is. It's having the coach pulls that out of them. It's because it's so down deep because we've suppressed and repressed for so long that it takes someone who's been through that, like I said, where they understand what I've gone through. How do you coach somebody? Say, I passed this test and I got a degree so I could help you. That's great. That's all well and good. And I appreciate that. But what about the degree in life? Do you understand where I did? Do you understand what I've gone through? Those are the people I like to support and help if I'm having somebody that's coaching me, which I always do. That's always up level where we're at. It's just an amazing journey to help and serve others this way. You're helping your younger self because we're on different paths in our own trajectory. Not everybody's at the same place, yet you look at that person and go, okay, I was there. I understand it without any kind of judgment, any. Because the last thing you want to do is feel judged or be judged. You want to people because you were looking for acceptance. Why can't people let you be who you are? Why does it have to be on their terms? Why can't it be on your terms? To speak what you want to say without fear of, oh my God, what are they going to think of me if I say no? What's going to happen if I say no? What happens if I say what I want to say in a nice way without coming at somebody where they feel attacked? It's all in the delivery and how you speak. But it's also based on the way you were brought up. A lot of people kept things down. I didn't want to make waves. I didn't want to upset, rock the apple cart. I didn't want to hurt anybody. Being such an empath, the last thing you want to do is hurt somebody's feelings. You'd rather get hurt than hurt them. When you're hurt, you shove it off or push it aside. Oh, it's okay. I'll get over it. But not that you ever want to hurt anybody, but you certainly don't want to have it come back and hurt yourself. It's really important to let go of those things. Why are you holding on to them? Somehow it's serving you and you don't think it is. Why would I hold on to something that's not serving me?
Exactly.
Yet we do. That's the vulnerability piece, the journey of finding their voice. That's what it's about. That's also why I titled the book Finding, because that's a journey, right? Finding your voice, but yet I have unlock your chains and unleash. Instead of unlocking and unleashing, Finding is the journey up. Unlock your chains and unleash your greatness. That's an action verb. It's time to unlock your chains so you can unleash your greatness. The chains we hold on to, the chains I was holding were my own. It's also the greatness I've always had within me, like in The Wizard of Oz, to serve others in a greater way.
The journey itself is very powerful. You walk people through vulnerability to empowerment, vulnerable, which is something that I think every guest I've ever had, that's, I want to say the MO, but it's a characteristic of being vulnerable. And that when you're first learning how to be vulnerable, it's super, super uncomfortable. And you get more comfortable with the uncomfortable in this process of speaking up. What I've realized for myself is that every time you do something new, every time you step out of that comfort zone, every day that you walk through a different challenge and you rise is we're vulnerable. I want to hear more about vulnerability that Renee Brown has made that famous for us to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Thank you, Renee Brown, for that. I'd love to hear more about what that means to you, not Renee Brown, but your Renee. What is that vulnerability to empowerment journey that you help
Yeah.
people through?
It starts off with the authenticity and finding out. I always do an assessment to find out where they are. You have to meet them where they're at and find out what is important to them. The work I do is unique to the person I'm working with. It's not a cookie cutter approach. Everything is unique because everybody is unique. It's a voice blueprint. I create a wide blueprint. We're each born with a blueprint that is unique to us. The voice blueprint is unique to the person I'm helping or the people I'm serving in that regard of what it is that their biggest struggle is. Because from your own struggle comes your greatest strength. From your obstacle comes your opportunity. And all of these things that we work together on, you have somebody who's really got your back, who's going to support you through thick and thin and be there for every step of the journey of finding your voice. It could be 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50 years that you've been holding on to it. You start talking and diving in a little bit. One of the clients I was helping, she wasn't in touch with her mother. They had disconnected for many reasons. After our coaching, the kids have a grandmother again. They're spending time together. They're spending holidays together. Everything is just as it should be. But it was some uncomfortable thing we had to address. People don't want to address uncomfortable things. They don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to keep shoving it under the rug. You keep shoving it under the rug, and then your life is no better than the day before. Unless you want to stay where you're at, then that's okay. I don't want to put people in any uncomfortable situations. But I also know that the people who are ready to say, I've had enough. I deserve better. I deserve more out of my life. I want to get it, and I can have it. So I deserve it. Those are the people I'm here to help. Those who have said, I am just done taking care of everybody else. This is my time. This is my life. I'm taking control back.
Oh, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I remember that feeling, taking those first steps. I could have used a coach like you. You're so vulnerable. You don't know what's on the other side. You can't even imagine anybody who hasn't been on this journey. It just gets better.
Yeah. You don't think that at the time, you're like, how can this get better? Or do they have any idea where I'm at? I'm sitting here and maybe your sweats or eating a bag of chips and go, I'm nothing and I'm not, I don't matter and my life doesn't matter. That's not true. Any day or any minute in that day that you choose to say, I deserve better. I am enough. I am worthy and deserving of all the greatness, of all the success. Other people can have it. That means I can too. Nobody is better than you. Nobody deserves it more than you. We are all on different places and spaces within that journey. It doesn't mean that someone who is making these millions is better or smarter than you. They made a decision to say, I'm not going to let this be my life. I deserve better and I'm going to get it. If that person can have it, so can I.
Mm.
And how do you start? Right now. You start, reach out, connect, make an effort, do something different. to make it happen.
Yeah.
You make an investment in you. Investment isn't always money, it's time that you're taking care of yourself, the self-care, the going for a walk in nature, the listening to some positive music, to write down your gratitude in a journal. So I have a good vibes journal. I was writing it earlier, and I write in it. I write it in all the time, every day. I write in it. I just always write in it. So I always am grateful for things, and even if things don't always go, and I keep saying the word thing, is if whatever that thing is that you don't think is working out because it's not the way you wanted it to go, where in your life is there something that you can see? Because you made it, that thing that down could be the breakthrough. I'm not talking about a car that's breaking down. I'm talking about you. Somewhere in the breakdown is also the breakthrough. You don't see where in your life can you write down one thing? You have a bed to sleep on, a hot meal. You were able to go for a walk. You had your facilities, your faculties. Even if you're laying in a hospital listening to this, what can I be grateful for? I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still have breath. There's something that you can be grateful for. And people who love and care about me, think of one thing. If you can't think of three things, think of one thing and focus on the thing that you can be grateful for. Let it bring a smile to your face, because the more you focus on the good, the more you'll see good that comes. When you start focusing on the bad, oh, you can, the list will be endless. You'll be going down that dark hole in a minute.
Uh-huh.
And you see, because it starts giving you these synapses in your brain of, oh, this person did this and all these things done to you. You'll keep thinking about those. When you think about the positive, you went on vacation, you went to walk on a hot meal. I haven't taken a vacation in years, but find something in your life. You have a bed, somewhere to sleep. Just pick something. The more you do that, more things that you have to be grateful for will start coming to you. And then add that to your list. Keep adding to your list, and you will keep finding more. That's the biggest thing I could say as far as a takeaway. I have takeaways in my book as well. After each section, you have 3 to 4 pages to write your answers. It's called a takeaway. And it talks to the reader how this can serve you and your experiences. I encourage you to get a copy of the book, $9.19 on Amazon. There's an audio version on my link tree and the Kindle version. No matter which one you get, I encourage you to get the book as well. And as I said, the reason for that is because I believe what comes up will come out. In a Kindle version, I don't know that you're able to write down an answer. In audio, you definitely can't write an answer because it's audio, you're listening to it.
Yeah.
But on the actual physical book, 3 to 4 line pages where you can go back and write your answer on this date, and then a month later or a week later or 2 months later. There's questions after each chapter, so you can see where you're at as you're journeying through your finding your voice. It's incredible. So many people tell me that's helped them tremendously.
I love that. I also love that you list out quote for each small chapter. And some of them are actually some of my super favorites that I have in my house, which is Ralph Waldo Emerson. If anybody is familiar with him, was born at the beginning of the century and was really the beginning of how we're thinking now about our thoughts and how we move forward. He was friends with a lot of people, and his work is just so timeless. What lies behind us and before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. It encompasses so much of what we're talking about. And the other thing that we're seeing a lot of books in like these days is about habits. Our habits are habits. But Aristotle, you highlight, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle, everybody know who Aristotle is, but that's a long time ago, many centuries ago. I am so blessed that you were able to join me today and share so much of your journey and all of the opportunities that people have to work with you. Do you have a link tree in the show notes so that they can reach you on in all the places, whether it's social or the book or your coaching program or your vulnerability to empowerment?
I offer a 30-minute complimentary coaching. My calendar link is on the link tree as well. So definitely book an appointment with me, get 30 minutes, and just get to dive in and see how I can best serve and support you. I also have a Facebook community for Finding Your Voice Network. We're launching our magazine, and it's pretty incredible. Got a lot of great articles, great people in there. Did very well there. I'm grateful for my time there because it taught me a lot about myself, a lot about people. I was coaching people from millennials to 70-year-olds in that company. It was a quite a big scope of and ages. But now my main focus is more women, but certainly if there's people out there who would like to connect, please reach out. From our own pain comes our purpose, and we can find that strength within. And I'm here to help you find yours in the journey of finding your voice. Debbie, I'm grateful for this time and sharing our voice on your podcast.
Thank you.